I first want to show our custom authorizer, and that happens in the REST API method. So here you are seeing we are creating an instance of request authorizer. Previously we had something called CFN authorizer, which is like the standard authorizer. And forgive me if I am not using the right instance name, but you can go back to the serverless video and you'll see. And actually this code is in GitHub as well. So anyway, for this purpose, if we want a custom authorizer, then we would need to use a request authorizer for that. And here we are specifying the identity sources so that the API gateway instance can pass these header values to our authorizer function. Because as I mentioned, we are authorizing based on both of these. So we are creating the authorizer here, but the implementation is in a separate file. And this file is called authorizer.ts. And here you will see in the implementation, here we are extracting the authorizer token, the standard OAuth token. In addition to that, we are also extracting another header value, which we call source identifier. And we are going to compare both of these header values. And as I mentioned in the introduction, this value comes from a secret. Important thing to understand is that we need to get the value of this secret at runtime. So this is what this call is doing. And because obviously secrets can definitely not be in our source code, they can also not be as environment variables in our Lambda. That's how I've initially implemented this. And then after implementing everything, I realized that this is not secure because an environment variable is not stored in encrypted form. Although I'm sourcing the value from the secret, but when we create the Lambda and say, okay, this environment variable, we have this value, then that secret is getting decrypted and not being stored securely. So that is why we need to make this call at runtime to the secret store to get the value. Okay. And yeah, after that, it's just doing the comparison. And then here it's basically doing the cognito verification as well. Lastly, this method needs to return a policy which will tell API gateway which specific permissions does this user have, which in our case is going to be permission to invoke this API. And that is what we are returning.